Anime, the legendary hero is dead. Continuing on to episode 3, Tuka and his friends continue their journey. Tuka's magic energy is too low, so he is unable to regenerate the flesh in his body. His body becomes nothing but bones, and he worries that it will remain that way forever. Yuna, who is looking for Tuka, goes to the river to take a bath while no one else is around. Unbeknownst to her, Tuka is peeping at her while pretending to be a pile of bones leaning against a tree. Yuna looks at the bones and realizes that it's actually Tuka peeping at her. She immediately buries Tuka alive. 10 days have passed since Tuka embarked on his journey as a hero to close the gates of hell. They plan to go to the capital to ask the king for funds because they are deeply in debt. However, Tuka feels that it's impossible to go to the capital in his skeletal form. He might be mistaken for a monster. Tuka must find a way to increase his magic energy so that his body can regenerate. Then, he has an idea. What if Tuka returns to his original body first, and then Henri, who has a large amount of magic energy, moves into Cyan's body until his body regenerates. After that, they can return to their original bodies. Henri cannot agree to the idea because repeated use of necromancer magic on one subject can cause mental disturbance. Henri cannot bear to see Tuka become disabled just to save the world. Yuna suggests that they should just work to earn money instead of relying on the king's assistance. When Tuka sees Henri eating grapes, he gets another idea. He will change the holy sword to resemble a face, and then paint the face with the rainbow-colored grapes that Henri is eating. Painters use those grapes as dye. Tuka knows this because he often colors turnips to make them look like human thighs. Tuka then goes to the capital and is welcomed by the king at his palace. The king asks why Cyan came to see him. Tuka answers that his savings are running out, so he wants to ask for financial assistance. Upon hearing this, the king only laughs and thinks Tuka is joking. 3 years ago, of all the warriors who fought, only Cyan did not want any reward. Tuka feels cornered when he hears this. The king asks again what Cyan's real purpose is. The king assumes that Cyan has finally come to marry Marguerite. Tuka is even more confused and denies the king's words. If it's not that, the king concludes that Cyan has come to duel with him. A terrifying aura emanates from the king. Tuka feels pressured and says that he has come to marry Marguerite. He knows he can't win against the muscular king. Tuka is escorted to the princess's room by the princess's own tutor, Isaac Gardner. Tuka learns that Marguerite is the princess of this kingdom. He can't understand why Cyan refused to marry the princess. Tuka assumes that Marguerite's face might resemble the gorilla-like face of the king. Tuka then knocks on the princess's door. Marguerite opens it, and her face is remarkably beautiful, nothing like a gorilla. When she wants to greet Cyan, what Marguerite sees is a terrifying face. The paint on Tuka's face is faded, and Marguerite gets scared and hides in her room. Tuka convinces the princess that he is the true hero, but his body is under a curse. The demon cursed his body into a skeleton, so he needs to cover his face with a mask. Marguerite believes his story and invites Tuka inside her room. Marguerite apologizes for thinking that her father was playing a prank on her. She also asks if Cyan has finally come to marry her. Tuka says he just wanted to make a stop. Marguerite immediately yells at him and tells him to leave. They had promised not to meet again if they didn't get married. The one who planned the marriage between Cyan and Marguerite was the king. In reality, they don't know each other very well. So, if they continue to meet but don't get married, Marguerite is afraid she will fall too deeply in love with him. Unfortunately, if Tuka retreats now, he will surely be threatened by the king and the princess's tutor. Tuka says that he came here to agree to marry her, and his previous statement was just a joke. But he will only marry her after saving the world. It's all just empty talk. Marguerite appears happy to hear this and invites him on a date at the mask festival the day after tomorrow. Tuka gets excited even though he has no intention of marrying her. When the festival is held, people will wear masks, so Tuka shouldn't be recognized even without disguising himself. Marguerite also makes him a new mask because his current one is damaged. Henri and Yuna, who were exploring the city, also learned that a mask festival would be held in this town. They wanted to participate in it. Coincidentally, Henri was wearing a helmet at that time to conceal her identity as a necromancer. Due to her excitement, Henri was unaware of her surroundings and collided with a group of adventurers, causing her helmet to come off. A green-haired, bespectacled man picked up the fallen helmet for Henri. The man knew that Henri was a necromancer. Henri and Yuna joined him and entered an orphanage. The man's name was Leland, and he was a doctor as well as the head of the orphanage. Leland said that it was fortunate that he encountered Henri because others would have immediately captured her. Yuna and Henri remained cautious of Leland. Why was he protecting a necromancer like her? Leland was convinced that Henri must have a compelling reason to venture into the capital city. He genuinely wanted to help those in need. Henri quickly blurted out that they had come to ask for funds, but Yuna immediately silenced her. Yuna redirected the conversation by stating that they had come to the capital city to find a way to enhance their magical energy. Leland brought them a soma drop, a medicine that could temporarily increase magical energy by 3 levels. However, its effects were temporary. After inquiring about the price of the medicine, they became desperate because it cost 100 million. Only nobles or royal families had that much money. Leland noticed that they were adventurers. He suggested that they go demon hunting to gather money. Yuna was skeptical that they could earn 100 million just from that. Leland had another suggestion. If Henri was willing to show her body, they could earn money. Yuna and Henri clearly misunderstood his statement. It turned out that what Leland meant was he wanted to examine the magic crystals within a necromancer's heart. Tuka discovered many cakes in the princess's room. He thought that Marguerite would only eat a few of them and discard the rest. To avoid waste, Tuka decided to eat some of them. Marguerite then returned with the mask she had made. Marguerite's stomach growled, and she wanted to eat the cakes. However, she realized that the cakes had diminished. Marguerite asked Cyan not to look at her while she ate. Despite being asked not to, Tuka remained stubborn and watched. He saw Marguerite devouring all the cakes greedily. But it still didn't satisfy her. Marguerite fainted due to lack of food. On the other hand, Henri and Yuna joined the demon hunting to gather money. There, Henri gave Yuna a revealing costume made of demon skin. The costume had a stronger effect than a magic crystal. Due to embarrassment, she covered the costume with her regular clothes. They also met one of the 4 strongest knights in the kingdom, Surwela, the Thunder Sword. They might not get their share if only Surwela defeated her demons. So, one of the adventurers who joined the hunt invited Henri and Yuna to hunt demons in a secret location. In that place, many powerful demons gathered. However, the adventurer who invited them said that Henri could surely defeat the group of demons. He revealed that he had the power to see the magic energy of living creatures. He claimed that his magic energy level was 9, equivalent to Surwela. Henri could defeat all those demons with a single attack. The adventurer confidently stated that Henri could easily defeat them since the demons were already dead. Henri realized too late that the group of magic was being controlled by necromancer magic. They had been trapped, and the mastermind called Lord Skeleton appeared from within the forest. Back in the princess's room, Tuka was scolded by Isaac for eating some of her cakes. However, 3 years ago, Hero Cyan was informed that Marguerite suffered from a depletion of magical energy. If she was left with insufficient magical energy, she could die. One of the servants immediately brought a soma drop and additional food. After drinking the soma drop and eating again, Marguerite felt better. However, Tuka did not expect Marguerite's body to become chubby for an hour after eating. Marguerite thought that Hero Cyan must be disappointed with her unattractive body. However, the person in front of her right now was not Hero Cyan but Tuka, who was actually excited to see Marguerite's plump thighs. Isaac, who witnessed this, felt embarrassed by Hero Cyan's behavior. The scene shifts to Surwela reporting to the king about her demon hunting. She reported that she had witnessed powerful magic from a distance. When she approached, all she saw were blood splatters and demon flesh. There were no corpses. The king mentioned that there had been many cases of people going missing recently. The king considered canceling the mask festival. Surwela reassured the king and said that she would order the knights of the kingdom to patrol during the festival. Moreover, Hero Cyan was also present in the capital city. After an hour had passed and Marguerite's body returned to normal, she wanted to see a doctor in town for an examination. The doctor who had previously treated Marguerite had resigned as the palace doctor, so Marguerite had to see him herself in town. After being left by the princess, Tuka planned to meet Henri and Yuna. Unfortunately, he couldn't find them anywhere in town. Still confused and searching, Tuka was approached by 2 fans of the hero of Cyan. Tuka asked if they had seen a little girl with a helmet and a blonde girl. They said they had seen the 2 girls enter an orphanage. After finding the orphanage, it turned out that the doctor whom the princess had visited was actually Leland. Tuka then asked if he knew where Yuna and Henri had gone. Leland said they were hunting demons and would be back soon. At least Tuka thought he would meet them at the festival. When Tuka and Marguerite left the orphanage, Leland seemed to enter a hidden underground room behind a bookshelf. Inside the basement, Yuna was seen being held captive. The skeleton lord who had trapped Henri and Yuna turned out to be Leland. Leland was holding Yuna because he was amazed by her thigh bone. When he used his X-ray magic, he had never found a thigh bone as beautiful as hers. He wanted to get rid of all the flesh from Yuna's body and leave only her bones. Not only Yuna, but he also planned to turn everyone into bone at the festival. Leland considered this to be salvation because humans do not need blood, flesh, and skin. Even humans could coexist with demons if they shed their blood and flesh. No need to bother closing the gate of hell. As for Henri, Leland planned to make her the scapegoat. He would accuse her of using necromancer magic to abduct citizens and sacrifice them to demons. Leland felt lucky to meet someone with the same power. Yuna could actually escape, but she was waiting for the right opportunity. 2 days had passed and the festival had arrived. Tuka started his date with Marguerite. For some reason, Isaac also followed them, even though Marguerite had asked him to let them be alone. Isaac insisted that the hero of Siam must have ulterior motives towards Marguerite, and Marguerite slapped him. She was not okay with anyone insulting her future husband. Seeing Princess Marguerite's firmness, Isaac could only obey. But he still didn't believe in the hero of Siam because he wasn't the hero he knew 3 years ago. This is the end of episode 3. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss part 4 of this series recap.